Hello, it's quarterfinals day at Snooker's Wuhan Open. We've had 2 matches played already and 2 more to come. The feature one in this programme, Judd, the defending champion, against Chris Wakelin, who played so well yesterday to beat the local favourite Ding Junhui. It's been a very successful day already for the Chinese contingent. If you were with us earlier on, you'd have seen Judd produce a really terrific display. 3 centuries in a row. He beat Sean Murphy 5-1. So Judd through to the semi-finals, and he'll play Long Zhihan, who's not only from China, he's actually from Wuhan. His family were in the audience, very proudly watching on. He beat a very disappointing Jack Lazowski 5-1. So Judd against Long Zhihan will be the first semi-final tomorrow. Long in his 2nd season on tour. And Judd has been around a while, hasn't he? And Shanghai Masters final 2013, his best finish. So he's taken a while to get back to this sort of stage in a big tournament, but every chance tomorrow once again to reach the final. In this session, Judd against Chris Wakelin, and a really interesting match on the other table between 2 Chinese players, both in the top 16, Zhang Anda and Si Jiahui. And of course, whoever wins that, we're guaranteed another Chinese semi-finalist. So it will be the first time we've ever had 3 Chinese semi-finalists in a world ranking event. Judd and Chris Wakelin, of course, both English, and both hoping to join those Chinese players in the last 4. He's Si Jiahui, very attractive player to watch, isn't he? We've seen him, of course, already this season get to the semis in Saudi. Former semi-finalist at the Crucible, runner-up in the German Masters, now in the top 16. So he's improving all the time. And, of course, he's playing someone who's rapidly improved in the last year or so, Zhang Anda, who was sort of stuck in the 50s and 60s in the world until the English Open last season. He got to the final, then he won the International Championship, runner-up in the Players' Championship, and is ensconced at number 11 in the world. That'll be a good match, I think, and you can watch it live on Discovery+. But for us, we're going to be focusing on table 1. And Judd Chris Wakelin, the dynamic here is the head-to-head. The head-to-head between players isn't always significant, but it's 13-0 to Trump. So that sounds pretty significant. Chris Wakelin has never beaten him. Will this be the day as the referee makes his entrance? Wakelin yesterday against Ding not only had 3 centuries in a row, they were all total clearances. Quite incredible spell from 1-0 down to lead 3-1 at the interval. Later at a 92, just missed out on another century. Could have won 5-2. Ding got the snooker he needed in that 7th frame, but then Wakelin very impressive, just resetting in the last frame and getting it won. But that won't have gone to his head, because he knows this is another big match today against, as I say, someone who he's yet to beat.
Good luck.
Judd Trump in yet another quarter-final. Every tournament he's played in 2024, all 14 of them, he's reached at least this stage. Quite incredible.
And his opponent, current world number 1, winner of the 2019 World Championship, 2024 Saudi Masters champion, and our defending champion, the ace in the pack, Judd.
So can Chris Wakelin end this run of defeats to Judd Trump? Just to reiterate, it's 13-0 to Trump on the head-to-head between them. But if Wakelin can play today as he did yesterday, he's got every chance. He was very impressive. Indeed, he's been very impressive since he won that shootout back in 2023, in the early part of 2023. But he's got to get past this man. So the night session on quarterfinals day here at the Wuhan Open. Judd and Long Zhihan already through. Zhang Anda and Si Jiahui on table 2. And here on table 1, Chris Wakelin breaking off against Judd Trump. He beat Ding last night. Can he now get past the defending champion, the world number 1? suppose, Alan, the head-to-head, there's two ways of looking at it. You can either say, well, that run has to end sometime, or it could just continue.
Yeah, absolutely. Good afternoon, David. Good to see him in form, isn't it? Chris Wakelin struggled in the early part of his career, but becoming a real handful now. As, of course, Judd is with a good opening long red. But, yeah, Chris Wakelin, the good news, I suppose, if there is any, you want a crumb of comfort, it's not about the past, it's about today. And I guess he's coming in with better form this week anyway. Yes, it's about today, and Judd knows all about the big stage, of course he does. But a good start, isn't it? You know, good opening, long red. Get about his work early.
5.
Well, no one's really got close to him this week. He's lost just 7 frames. Of course, John Higgins in the last round. That was quite a tough match, but Trump's just so good at getting through these early rounds of tournaments. Yeah, 14 events this year. 14 quarterfinals. Of course, in several of those he's gone further. But that's a remarkable level of consistency.
I know I've come out with a saying many times down the years, give me the guy that played well yesterday. Can Chris Wakelin produce not what he did yesterday, but anything like it? Because anything like it, he's going to be a real handful for Judd. He's not going to play that well again. I think that's safe. But a terrific start. Brilliant red.
1.
I think Chris Wakelin is a very interesting player, actually, and very interesting to talk to. And he's quite calm. He won't be sort of congratulating himself too much for yesterday. He's just on with the next match. Be happy with how he played, of course. But wants to back it up, as you say.
4.
Hasn't quite worked out as intended, though. It's not just how well he played, it's who it was against here in China. Ding obviously had a lot of support. Yeah, he made 3 total clearances in a row. Now, the dark stats people, and there's a lot of them out there, they looked into this because we were wondering, has that happened before? And narrowed it down to possibly one other occasion. Neil Robertson may have done it in the Championship League, but certainly in a ranking event, it would be a first. So that is something very impressive from Chris.
That's unlucky, wasn't it? It was a bit of kind of yes, no, yes, no. Finally, no. Looked like for a second it was going to nestle.
It's good to have that player view, isn't it, to see what they can see from that end. Some of these meetings have been very close. I mean, Wakelin was 4-0 up at the European Masters last year, lost 5-4. At the Crucible, that extraordinary match that went the distance in 2018, it was just an absolute nerve shredder. you can see got him covered pretty comprehensively here. And the problem he's got, of course, Trump, the Reds fanned out into the open. He'll have observed how well Wakelin played yesterday. He doesn't want to give him chances early in this match to settle.
Yeah, not the worst leave. Judd always read to right middle. It just depends what he's leaving. Well, the answer's nothing. That is a terrific pot. I thought that was a feature of his play yesterday, actually, against Ding. That kind of shot to middle pockets. He missed very little, didn't he? He missed a silly black in the frame, the penultimate frame, but kind of forcing it. But shots like that to middle pockets, he was so good. The break he made in the final frame against Ding, as David kind of mentioned earlier, and probably in some ways the frame of the tournament, on the back of the way he lost that penultimate frame, because he was unfortunate to lose it in the end. But he you know, there was an air about him as he made that winning contribution. There was no worry about it. I think a few years ago he'd be forgiven for panicking, and there was none of that.
$14. $15.
I think what he was able to do yesterday was just play and shut out everything else, which, you know, is really the battle in this game. He really did, in those 3 frames that he won with total clearances, looked just completely at ease with what he was doing.
21.
Not thinking about who he was playing, where he was playing, and what it all meant.
$22.
It's always a balance, isn't it? That sort of space between, on the one hand, it has to mean something to you, otherwise you just get sloppy. But if it means too much, you get anxious. So you have to find that space in between the two, and he was definitely in it yesterday.
Yeah, I had an interview with him a few weeks ago in Brentwood at the English Open. I can't remember, I think he might have been playing against Zhang Anda, a pre-match interview. And I kind of made the mistake, actually, of kind of bigging up in some way Zhang Anda for obvious reasons. And Chris's reply was along the lines of, makes no difference, if I play well, I win. End of story. Cut and dried. He didn't say it in an arrogant way. It was a kind of matter-of-fact way. It was good to hear. This is a good start, carrying on from yesterday.
Yeah, he beat him, didn't he? 4-1. He beat Mark Allen that week before Neil Robertson beat him in the semi. So this season's been already successful for him.
$35.
Yeah, a wee bit unlucky there to land hampered, so he'd probably favour the thin red, but he can't do an awful lot with the cue ball. It's going to take its own path if he plays the thin one. This is a wee bit more hampered. Oh, nicely judged. That's
36.
brilliant shot. It's one of these, I wonder if he might play a kind of almost a dead weight stun trying to finish touching ball on the black. Yeah, it's a good choice that, because you're bound to be on one of the two, and that's absolutely perfect.
42.
If the cue ball finds this little gap for black in the same pocket, it should be 1-0.
$43.
Well, he played a good shot, didn't he, to get in behind the green, get Trump in trouble. It looked like Trump had escaped pretty well, but left that half chance to the middle. Trump, though, earlier on, he missed that red with the rest.
$51. $58.
So 2 more pots, and it should be 1-0 to Wakelin, and this is very much a flashback to yesterday. This is how good he was
59.
looking against Ding.
$66. $67. $74.
We have flagged up earlier this week about the size of the pockets. They're probably on the generous side if you're going on average. But it just shows you, you're dealing with fractions. The players, the level that they're capable of playing at these days, if the pockets are remotely
82.
not even generous, just, you know, just wider than average, they exploit it to the full. We've seen it all week long. We saw it earlier on with Xiao Guodong. We're seeing it again here. Even that red there, just evidence of it.
$89. Long rest.
Well, it's almost like just a continuation, really, from his performance against Ding. I say, though, Trump had that chance earlier. He did miss A red with the rest. Well, he snooked himself on the yellow, so it's going to have to be a trick shot to make the century, but it's a fine start either way for Chris Wakelin.
Foul.
97.
97.
To lay down a marker here. He's never beaten Judd Trump, remember, in 13 previous meetings. Will this be the day where that changes? Well, if he carries on like this, there's every chance. Yeah, good stuff from Chris Wakelin. Apologies if you just slightly lost the picture there, but anyway, we saw the frame to its conclusion. On table 2, Zhang Anda and Si Jiahui, two players in the last year or so, really come good. Still in the first frame, 7 points in it. Si at the table. Feels like a bit of a clash of styles, this. Having said that, Zhang Anda can be a very heavy scorer himself in Saudi. Ask Ben Wollaston. He made 4 centuries against him there to win 5-0.
Yeah, and Zhang Anda came through. Incredible finish to his match yesterday against Mark Joyce, didn't he? Respotted black in the decider. At least I think it was. I was watching it in live scoring. But KG opening frame, obviously.
So this frame, this match will continue, of course, on Discovery Plus for you. So 97 break from Chris Wakelin. Just didn't get on the yellow to have the chance to complete the century, but nonetheless looked very assured in taking those. The winner plays Zhang Anda or Si Jiahui. They're still in their first frame on table 2. First semi-final tomorrow, an all-Chinese affair. Zhao Guodong against Wuhan's own Long Juhang.
请保持安静，谢谢。Second frame, Judd Trump to break.
Well, Trump had the early chance, but then he found himself snookered on all the reds. Seemed to have played a pretty good escape, but there was a red on, and Wakelin did the rest. Of course, they played in a final last season, the Northern Ireland Open in Belfast. That's coming up. It's actually the next event on tour in a couple of weeks. It was Trump who won 9-3.
One.
Yeah, that was a proper piece of cueing,
Yellow
that
ball.
was. Almost hit it too well with too much backspin.
Chris Wakelin. One.
Now, what's Judd got at distance? Well, not dissimilar shot, although he'll be coming back up table most likely.
Well, it could have finished anywhere, but equally it could have finished in the pocket, and it didn't really threaten.
One.
Even in this early running, it's pretty plain to see that Chris Wakelin is definitely in better form than what Judd is. He's having to battle through his matches, Judd Trump. Wakelin, pretty much in, well, the form of his life, let's be honest.
8.
He's almost kind of in a trance-like state, the way he's walking around the table, one paced, and just every shot seeing it
9.
the same. Judd will know, sitting there watching this, that he's going to have his work cut out to find a way. We know he generally does, but he's bang under it, even though it's early. Yeah, that's a poor one. End the break.
16. Chris Wakelin. 16.
Well, the table's quick, but
Far miss.
not
Chris
that quick.
Wakelin.
It actually
4.
got nearer to the reds than I thought it would.
I do know what you mean, David. It's one of those, isn't it? It's the classic shot that shows you how quick this table is. I mean, if that was down the club, it wouldn't have got past the blue spot, I don't think.
Yeah, conditions have been beautiful, actually, on this main table. There's the little technology they have here. You've got to get the ball in the circle. It'll start flashing to tell you it's in the right spot. A little bit more. A little bit more.
Yeah, it is good. Now, I don't know the exact system, but I'm guessing by that the referee doesn't have a monitor that he can actually see. If he has a monitor that he can see from where he's standing, then he'll do it even quicker. You know, and not have someone tell him a bit more, and a bit more.
4. Chris Wakelin. 6.
It is a good system.
Yeah, well, they'll be using it again because he's caught the pink this time.
再赢一吧。这个红球呢？
Yeah, these are the ones where, I mean, really, the referee should have just looked at it before. You know, it makes no material difference. None whatsoever. As I say, if he has a monitor that he can see, then he doesn't need to be, you know, 5 times a bit more, and a bit more.
There you go. You see it starts to flash. It means it's in the right spot. It seemed okay, actually. But anyway, we go again. Third time. The speed was better that time. It just the direction was slightly off.
miss.
Sort of seems innocuous, but these points that he's given away, they might make a difference later in the frame. He's given away 14 already.
Okay.
I must confess, if I was a referee, I wouldn't need a monitor. I would look at it before he plays it. From the brown spot, and you pot the brown direct in that corner pocket, it's on that line. It's really is straightforward. I don't understand why.
Well, I think that Trump's just querying what points have gone on here. It should be 14, isn't it? There's 2 4s and a 6.
2 4, 1 pink.
Yeah. I thought he was on 27 points before. So it should be 31. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's it.
Well, it seems what Trump's saying, yeah, it seems they may have given Wakelin a 6-point penalty rather than a 4-point one last time anyway. Here we go, attempt number 4. Oh, no, it's gone completely past the bunch.
Chris Wakelin, 4.
Can you see the red to the middle? Well, if you can, that's a massive misjudgment.
One. Eight.
Got to be totally concentrated on this, the pot. Don't get drawn to the cannon. Yeah, well done.
9.
Could never be absolutely sure where his cue ball's going to go. He took on a brown, didn't he, yesterday? Early on, almost his first shot against Ding from that same baulk cushion. Not touching it, but very close to it, and he took it on. So we know he's going to take this on. Looks like the long brown.
Thirteen. Fourteen. 17.
Yeah, the break just unravelled a little bit. But in general, again, Wakelin looking very assured here today. You know, let's be honest, he has some scarring defeats to Trump. It's easy to say just play the balls, not the man. It's not so easy to do necessarily. Neil Foulds mentioned yesterday Terry Griffiths against Stephen Hendry. I mean, Terry was a great player. Never beat him. Something like 17 meetings they had. I know Stephen had a great record against most players, but 17 meetings and no victories. Pretty brutal. See, Joel Weir's just stolen the first frame on the black against Zhang Anda, who looked good at one stage to win it.
Yeah, there was another landslide head-to-head a number of years ago, wasn't there? O'Sullivan against Carter, and then at the Crucible, Ali won a best of 25, didn't he? I don't quite remember what the head-to-head was going into that, but I said it's all about today.
Well, the good news, Alan, in this arena, there's plenty of room around the table, so there'll be no sort of barging into each other, as there was on that day, or in that match.
Yeah, terrific pot, but as yet he's not able to get a grip on a frame or even a passage of play yet, Judd. And although
Trump, 1.
This might be a tricky escape, you expect the top players these days to find a way, don't you, to, you know, probably into the right half of the cluster of reds. Maybe twice across, something like that. When the tables are playing this nicely, those kind of shots are actually quite easy because they're predictable, the cushions anyway.
really keeping Judd Trump on the back foot here. Trump was in the first frame, wasn't he? Missed a red early with the rest. You know, that could have been him imposing himself on the contest, but not seen much since then.
Looks like he's interested in this red that's on. If this goes in, should be a frame winner. Great shot.
One.
Yeah, at the moment, the defending champion is getting the run around. There's the small question mark over this. This is not an easy positional shot. But that's as good as he could have hoped to play it.
8.
So up for choice of blue or yellow, most likely.
Nine. $14.
The point I was making about the foul points that went on earlier. Got 18 in the end from Trump. Just made the task a little easier in terms of winning the frame now. Red and a colour should do it. Could have landed nicer on a red, but he's still just a couple of pots away from a 2-0 lead.
Is that the chance that Judd's been looking for or waiting for?
Chris Wakelin, 14.
First bad mistake coming from Chris Wakelin.
The only good news is one red's gone safe,
One.
but otherwise Judd Trump with a chance to get right back into this frame, potentially steal it.
Seven. Eight.
He's been not fortunate, but fortunate to land with such a nice angle on the blue. He's always going to be in something, but this will do nicely. I mean, the red that's 2 away from this corner pocket that'll be the one that'll, I would think, help him. If he can get rid of the one nearest that corner, then that's the one that's easy to get on to shift the difficult
13.
red. I know that's looking a wee bit far forward, but that'll be in his mind. And now he's got this
14.
absolutely where he wants it. Take the black, get rid of the red nearest the pocket. Anything straight on the following pink, and he's in business.
$21.
This is the key shot.
$22.
It's kind of a little awkward. You see what I mean? He wants the cue ball on the line. It's actually on right now for his next shot, but he can't quite do it. He feels he can get deep enough and just hang the pace off this shot here to flick the red into the open. Hang the pace off and just try and nip the cue ball, get a piece of that red. No, he can't do it.
29.
But with his cue power, he can do it with this one. Ah.
35. Judd, 35.
It's only frame 2, but it feels like big passage of play. This Wakelin was at 2 balls away from securing a 2-0 lead, having started so impressively with that 97 in frame 1. So it would be a blow for him to not win this frame now.
I think he should hit this, but he can't get right in behind the red, I don't think anyway. Well, he did. That is fabulous. What a shot that is. You know, I was thinking he would struggle to get right in behind it and keep the cue ball near the baulk cushion. Great effort. And in one shot, he's kind of turned the tables. The scoreboard doesn't mean all that much at the moment. The 30-point lead. Of course, you'd rather have it than not, but it's all about the next chance. And here is the chance. got the cue power. He doesn't want, obviously, red-yellow for the tie, so he's going to have to get the cue ball working. I know he's the man for the job, but it's got to screw back at least, I would say, 3 feet for blue and possibly green. Oh, the dreaded no man's land. Still got the blue. That'll probably be the shot. But it's far from easy, especially for a lefty with a hamper bridging.
Six. Eight.
Far from ideal. This is a massive pressure shot because the pace he's playing at. You think if he doesn't pot it, he's going to stick it. Yeah, that's why he injected a wee bit of pace, and it looks like, well, there's certainly a chance. It's not an easy green, this. But Chris Wakelin breathes again.
Just needs to put everything into the pot here.
Three.
Because now Trump needs a snooker. What a dramatic frame. But as I say, in a funny way, those foul points earlier on, they did make a difference in the end. Wakelin would love this brown in. And that will make it 2-0 for sure. Trump did have his chance. But Chris Wakelin has started strongly here, as he did yesterday against Ding.
12. Chris Wakelin 12. And frame.
Yeah, it was a dramatic frame. It's gone as the first one did, though, to Chris Wakelin. 2-0, 5 frames needed to reach the semi-finals of this Wuhan Snooker Open.
请大家小声一点，隔壁还在比赛呢，谢谢。
A very lively crowd in, which is good to see, of course, but the referee just reminded them there's another match on, and that's an all-Chinese affair between Zhang Anda and Si Jiawei. Si Jiawei won the first frame on the black, and still early days in the next one. Zhang at the table here. Of course, it was this time last year where he suddenly pulled himself out of the kind of middle ranks, the dreaded journeyman territory, and became a top player within a couple of tournaments. English Open runner-up, International Championship winner.
Yeah, just before we joined this, Si Jiawei missed not a routine red, but one that he should have got to give Zhang this chance. A phlegmatic little character, isn't he? He doesn't show much emotion, great temperament, technique, everything really. And when he gets on a roll, he's very difficult to stop. It's a tough call, that table 2 today. plenty reds in the Open. So you would expect that every chance of Zhang evening things up over there on table 2.
Well, it's only 2-0, but Judd Trump yet to really get going. Did have the chance there to make the clearance, went wrong on the green, which Chris Wakelin knocked in. By then it was all he needed. So everyone's settling down. It's a good atmosphere in here this evening. I'm sure if they were here last night, they would have been very impressed with how Chris Wakelin played, albeit, you know, understandably Ding had most of the support, but the quality of the performance, if you like snooker, you couldn't fail to be impressed. Not quite at that level today, but he's played solidly overall, worthy of this lead. Looking at the rankings machinations, if Wakelin were to win this match, he would actually go up 2 places provisionally to 19. So sort of getting closer to that top 16. Judd Trump, of course, he's number 1 by a long way. On the 1-year list, if Wakelin won the match, he'd be at number 11. And of course, the Players' Series World Grand Prix, top 32 players, top 16 Tour Championship, top 12 later in the season. If you can get into those 3 events, then that's a massive opportunity to improve your ranking, improve your bank balance as well. Thick. One stage it looked like he would leave the red to middle. He's got a chance at it to the corner. No, not close really. So Trump, that was a chance to get going, but it's not quite happening yet for him.
No, he's really struggling. Chris Wakelin in every department looks the better player. Certainly frame 1 we know about with the 90-odd break, and yeah, just too many mistakes coming from Judd at the moment. And although I wouldn't go as far as to say making Chris's job easy, it's a comfortable 2-0 lead and certainly bossing it.
This is why Wakelin will be disappointed with that shot, because he's offered up another potential opening, and at some point Trump is going to start potting them. I think we can probably all agree on that. But not yet.
1. Six.
Yeah, just settling for this speculative plant. I suppose there's, you know, on the face of it, it's not that risky. It's kind of one of those percentage plays with obviously black up table. It'd be nice to solve this problem, and then you're hoping get the black back in the spot, but see, no great risk. Good pot.
8. Nine.
.95 clearance from Zheng to level 1 each with Sejong Wei on table 2.
10.
Yes, 2 cushions with pace, perhaps. No, just playing on the loose one. It's a difficult table at the moment, isn't it? You know, gotta keep playing sort of
15.
power shots to get back up for the blue. In an ideal world here, you'd love to finish on the black.
But
he's doing well to keep this going. Yeah, but that, I'm afraid, is pretty much I think we can say the worst shot he's played all tournament. No wonder he's kind of smiling to himself. It was almost like, I think he just get caught in 2 minds. Complete malfunction. But like most times when he leaves the table, all right.
Wakelin, 21.
Could have left the shot to nothing there, but it's slim pickings for Trump.
Wakelin will be aware, because he follows the game closely, that these days Trump is never beaten until he's beaten. We saw in Saudi he was playing not at all well early on in the first round against Wu. He is a 4-0 down, looked down and out, frankly, turned it round, won the match, won the tournament. Which is why he will be determined not to leave him an easy starter, which I think right now is what Trump needs. Well, he's left a red. So let's see
One.
how far Trump gets here. Again, the black being down the table doesn't help right now.
请不要来回走动，谢谢。 一会儿别让他们进来了，好吧？
Whatever's happening there was obviously off-putting. The referee making his feelings known.
Six.
Yeah, okay, you could say he's a little unfortunate not to have an easier red, but I think it's that was a kind of cold arm shot. He was looking for contact on the pink, but didn't get through the cue ball well enough. But that's a terrific recovery. At the moment, he's just kind of playing off from memory almost, because he's got no quality table time. Yeah, I don't know if you want to take the black just yet. I mean, he might have to, but it's going to be tied up.
Joe. Thirteen. Eighteen. 19.
Still not getting through the ball properly. A little short of pace.
$24. $25.
But that was more like it. We got a glimpse, didn't we? The red at the bottom of the three, there it is. It's on, no problem. But that's far from the best
30.
angle on it. And with him not quite being in stroke yet, he'll do well even for him to get the cue ball back up table. Oh, that's a proper shot.
Yeah, just as he seemed to have got himself
36.
into a nice position, it's gone wrong again. Been a frustrating start for Trump, but even with that, his determination, we've seen it the last few years. He'll be still focused here. Okay, he's disappointed, but still focused, trying to keep things tight. Finds ways to win. I mean, he's not played his brilliant best all week so far, but
36.
nobody's really got too close to him.
A half chance for Chris, but it just depends how confident he is. Does he play it to keep the cue ball shy of the baulk line on the way back up table? This thin cut to middle. Might play for the black in the same pocket, actually. Well, he did.
1.
But that is not terrible. Not the worst result, but he clearly did, didn't he? Percentage played for the black to that same right middle. Not ideal on the blue. A little betwixt and between, but blue to corner should be okay. Yeah, well done. And might be tracking the black this time, because it'd be difficult to win the frame without it on its spot.
6. Seven.
He's actually perfect position-wise. It's just about the pot. It's quite straightforward. 3 cushions to get on the red. Loose one. Yeah, but a risk he's not prepared to take. The yellow obviously is a certainty.
Nine. Ten. Sixteen. Seventeen.
think he looks poker straight on the pink, so he's not going to be even playing on the red if that's the case. Yeah, there you have it. I mean, he has a tiny angle. He could try and squeeze it a little, but again, as I said earlier, with a black not in its spot, he was always going to struggle to win the frame in one hit. He's picked a nice line here, though. Try to send the red up table to the right side of the brown, or just near the brown. Yeah, he's hoping just above the middle pocket with the red. And he has plenty of cover. He's got to be careful he doesn't catch the bump of the middle pocket.
Chris Wakelin,
Good
23.
shot.
For Elmis. Chris Wakelin, 4.
Yeah, the obvious free ball, so decent angle on the pink.
Pink.
Play for yellow or black, one would think. Oh, it's a bad miss. Yeah, that's a bad one. That gives Judd the initiative from nowhere.
Yeah, right now Trump just needs a frame on the board, however scratchy that frame might be. And this is a scratchy frame, isn't it? But they all count the same. Trump just needs some sort of foothold. He's not playing well, but we know he will dig in.
One.
Yeah, good pot, but is the blue any good to him? Not without using a cushion, it seems. Just checking. I know he's got the cue power to go round the table, but that would be a tough shot. And I think at the moment, brown and black are not really an option. So he's going to have to use power. too heavy. I suppose that was the better end of being short with it.
6.
So important to try and just keep your resolve when things are not quite going how you want them to. There's still a frame to be won here. Certainly towards the end.
6.
This morning, Jack Lazowski, his good friend, lost a bit of that composure against Long Jihan. Wasn't happening for Jack, and he just couldn't dig in. In fact, his highest break was only 21, which, bearing in mind how brilliantly he'd played all week, was a big disappointment. Long plays at Jagudong in the first semi-final tomorrow. Well, all gifts gratefully received. I mean, he nearly went in off, actually, but the yellow's gone in.
Judd Trump, 2.
Yeah, now what can Chris do with the cue ball? You never know, because the players are so skilled, but I don't think on this cloth it's so slick, as David said before. He's going to be holding this slowly for Brown. He could go with deep drag. It is risky. You know, on your own table at home, you'd maybe play it. Looks like he is. Deep drag to hold the cue ball. Got to get the pot. Nope, that's the risk. The other thing, with you're playing it with a flick of left-hand side. And I know there's not a lot of nap on these cloths anymore, but left-hand side on that line, it turns from left to right. An old money. And that's what happened there. So Judd, he simply has to win the frame from here. I know it's not a big ask, but you just never know the way he's feeling. It shouldn't be a problem. I mean, it's an easy put away. But he's pretty much hasn't even been in the match yet. So 2-1 behind this wouldn't be bad.
7.
Yeah, exactly. And for Wakelin, he'd be thinking, well, Judd's not going to play this badly all day.
12.
It's taken some winning, but the pink is frame ball. Just checking that on the scoreboard. Very
18.
scrappy stuff,
Trump.
but Trump has
Frame.
won it and is on that scoreboard. He needs to improve clearly, but he's in the match now. Chris Wakelin's lead reduced to 2-1 with one more frame to play before the mid-session interval. Now on table 2, Zhang Ganda made a 95 break in frame 2, having lost the first on the black to Si Jiahui. And Zhang is in front in the next, as you can see, by 51. There's 59 on, so he's not over the line yet here. The winner of this will play Trump or Wakelin in the semi-finals. That'll be the second one tomorrow night. Well, what's in his favour here is the black has tied that red up, so obviously Si Jiahui 51 behind will need all the reds. He's got a couple to go at here, but the last one tied up with the black will have to be developed. The head-to-head here is 3-0 to Zhang, actually, so and they're all within the last couple of years. He's had the beating of Si. Discovery Plus, of course, has this match live in its entirety. So Trump has won his first frame. He took a lot of winning, but he's got himself on that scoreboard. 2-1 to Wakelin.
Judd Trump to break.
Chris Wakelin started really well in this match, but there's been a few mistakes since then. It was always going to be hard to replicate yesterday's performance. Started with a 97 today. He's played the better of the two, but let's see if that continues. Now Trump's got a frame. Can he start to motor? As Wakelin already ironed up this long red. Oh dear. So just a sort of sign of a bit of a shift in the balance of power. Wakelin a bit fortunate, really, not to leave anything there. But Trump would have been pleased to see him miss the red by the distance he did.
다지고.
Well, okay, well, it looks a little bit trapped in there, doesn't it now? Looks like he can just play to get it away from the Reds, but it's a bit of a standoff, complicated by the Reds further down the table as well, particularly the one near Bulk.
You can never predict how these frames are going to turn out, but it's clear. I mean, Judd could get the cue ball back to this cushion that he's on, but like most players, he doesn't like a frame where the Reds get scattered up table. You know, players generally do prefer the more traditional type of frame, you know, for the cue ball in bulk. Both players almost cancelling one another out. At the moment, you know, it's not easy to play a telling safety shot. It's kind of containment from both players. I suppose if nothing else, barring the double, we'll get back to term a normal frame after this shot.
Meanwhile, Zhang Anda, he's now 2-1 up against Si Jiahui. So Si won the first on the black. Zhang made 95 in the second, and he's dominated the third as well. The winner of that, of course, plays this. The winner of this one tomorrow night in the second semi-final. Best of 11 tomorrow. Be interesting to see if the high break is beaten. At the moment, it's 139, and there's 6 players tied for it. So that pie is going to be, at the moment, sliced 6 ways, the 5,000. Kind of think there'll be a 140 plus, but it's going to have to come in the next couple of days as Trump knocks in a great red. So the impasse is broken in this frame, and they're the sort of balls he's not been knocking in this match. But finally one goes in. Maybe this will be the start now of the Judd Trump that we know and love. Also, he's got his own cue, which if you watched it yesterday, came back after the interval. He picked up Ben Wollaston's.
8.
In all innocence, but anyway, it was all resolved. Okay.
Nine.
Kind of sums up his match in one shot, that, doesn't it? It was a good pot. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't a bad shot. Just misjudged the cannon.
Pink ball. Judd Trump. 9.
Didn't quite nail him there, but he's good, I think, at recovering when something's gone wrong, as it did there. I mean, he potted a great red. You think, okay, this could be the start of something. Didn't get on the black, but just took a deep breath and tried to get Chris Wakelin in trouble, rather than just sort of playing the white down to bulk without thinking about it.
This is a horrible shot, regardless of which way he plays it. Either slow for the black or pace to get out of there. Such a tough cueing shot. Oh, wow. Well, you won't get closer without potting it. Have a look at this.
One.
I think it's a good sign, the initial red that Chris Wakelin took there, because it was missable.
8.
And you know, the way he lost the last frame, he obviously having not bossed it all the way, but he's been
9.
the better player so far. He's under a bit of pressure to, you know, get a 3-1 lead, because Judd hasn't really shown up so far. So that was well done. Shows a sign of his confidence that he's playing with.
Yeah, I mean, Wakelin is really on the up, isn't he? He's been a
17.
pro since 2013. He's done his time slogging through all the qualifiers and climbing the ranks. He's now just outside the top 16. He's won a tournament, of course, the shootout, been in another final. So his trajectory is good. But matches like this will decide whether he is going to take the next step or not. Possibly
24.
get to a big final in China. 140,000 to the winner, that would really propel him up the world ranking list. And then you're looking at being in the Masters and maybe being seeded for the Crucible, all of that as well on the horizon.
Yeah, that was a clever shot, but obviously if he plays the pink, it's going to go on the blue spot now. So he'll know that. He'll see all those kind of things. It's not a clean-cut chance until he gets those reds into play. He still has one of them, perhaps, the apex red at the top to left middle, but it's not a great chance just yet.
29.
That is a fabulous positional shot. All right, he probably didn't mean to get that close to the red, but so barring a plant, you'd imagine he's gonna be looking for a nice angle on the blue to perhaps play the cannon. And he's got
37.
it if he wants it. So decision time. Yeah, he's interested in the plant, isn't he? I don't know if it's dead set. Oh, there you have it.
42.
As near as, but just looking at the scoreboard, it's only going to release the red that he's going to hit.
That's
a fabulous shot. So 34 in front, blue 39. And for argument's sake, say 14 with the two open reds. He's still going to need one of the four together.
.48.
Just thinking though, with Chris Wakelin, I think what we're seeing is someone who is just in dreamland as far as the way that he's playing. I mean, he's just playing awesome. Of course, I say that and the cannon goes a wee bit wrong, but he really is. He looks incredibly confident on every shot. But that's gone wrong, and 55. He still has, well, had plenty to do to win the frame, so the alarm bells aren't ringing yet, but there's danger lurking in the shape of Judd Trump sitting in the chair.
Yeah, it's not so much the score in the frame, it's where the balls are. You always look at where the balls are. Is there anything safe? There isn't really. So the points difference wouldn't mean that much, really. You'd be very disappointed with 2-2 Wakelin, I think, the way he started, the way Trump started. Trump not performing. So he would surely feel he's got to be 3-1.
Chris Wakelin, 55.
Like a dress there, considering taking on the pot, the one nearest the pink, or perhaps the one closest to the green pocket. The problem in this situation with the reds in the open, if you wait, eventually something will go safe. Oh, what a pot that is. Needs the cue ball to just pull up.
One.
Okay, he's on just about on yellow, possibly brown, although it's thinner than it looks. But you know, it's a bit of a dilemma there, because as I say, if you wait around for 2 or 3 safety shots, something goes safe. So he's deciding to press, but he's got to get this. The 2 best shots of the match back to back. Can he complete the deal with a clearance when he just hasn't shown anything today?
Four.
Yeah, he sort of reached into the back of the locker there, didn't he? Found a couple, but now it's about keeping things simple here, keeping control. And I said Wakelin would hate to Trump may feel like he's in front. The danger for Wakelin is that after the interval, Judd Trump becomes Judd Trump again and blows him away, as he has done 13 times before.
Ten.
Yeah, the points don't seem to be going on our score. No, that's right now.
White, yeah.
Not great here though on this red.
$17. $18.
Bit of noise because it's interval on the other side. 2-2. Sejal Woo's won the 4th. Trump needs to focus. The break, I said he was looking to keep control. It's turned into a bit of an adventure. This is the problem.
Judd
It's hard
Trump,
to keep it going
20.
after the two great initial shots. Just slightly lost his way. May have had a kick a couple of shots ago, but anyway, he's back in his seat. And the frame's still in the balance.
Well, he's kind of treading on thin ice at the moment, Judd, isn't he? I've got to be honest, for most players I wouldn't say this, but for him, he's all over the place. He's really struggling with his game. His safety shot there, I mean, his safety's normally pristine. He's really struggling. Doesn't mean he's going to close up shop and stop trying and not put in the application, nothing like that. But he, in some way to me, almost looks nervous as well, maybe because he just knows he doesn't have his game today. Not that I'm going to doubt him, but he's really struggling.
Well, that was a great effort, but he's left it, and it's all Wakelin needs. Colour off it, but surely going to land on one of the six for 3-1.
One.
Well, he's just about on the brown. He's not played as well as yesterday, but Judd Trump has struggled badly. I mean, he got in with a couple of wonder shots in this frame, just lost the run of the cue ball, broke down. So I think the key figure in the interval will be Jack Trump, his brother, who's very, very good at getting him right in any scenario. We saw that in Riyadh when he was 4-0 down to WUHAN. He was struggling that day. He ended up winning the tournament. Not out of it yet, but improvements needed in the second half of this quarter-final. Is this the day Chris Wakelin beats Judd Trump? He's lost 13 times from 13 meetings with the world number one. Well, he's on top at the interval.
Ten. Fourteen. 15. 19. 25.
So Chris Wakelin delighted to have been left that last red. As the players head to the interval, a lot to think about for Judd Trump in terms of his performance. And Chris Wakelin, okay, not as strong as yesterday, but on top, 3-1. So when they return in 15 minutes' time, Chris Wakelin will need 2 more frames to advance to the semi-finals of the Wuhan Open. So, as the players head off, we can just look back on a few moments from this match. Not many highlights, you've got to be said, for Judd Trump. That's where it started, actually, frame 1. He missed that with the rest early on. That, you know, that could have been the start of a century, maybe, but that was kind of a bad early sign, really. And then Wakelin stepped in and played very nicely.
Yeah, he did, and that was a terrific shot, wasn't it? To set him on the path to that 97 break to eventually win frame 1. That was pretty much frame ball. So he didn't get the century, but the perfect start. And yeah, Judd Trump, early signs not brilliant. But what was to come were more mistakes, from the cue of Judd Trump into frame 2.